We're about to begin, and it's so wonderful to see all of your faces here at this virtual event. My name is Stéphane Keys. I'm a news anchor with CTV News, and I'm also a part of United Way's Volunteer Recognition Committee.
Et je suis Suzanne Pinel, animatrice et membre de longue date de l'équipe de reconnaissance des bénévoles de Centraide. Stéphane et moi sommes vraiment heureux d'animer l'événement d'aujourd'hui. Nous immortaliserons de nouveaux bâtisseurs communautaires sur le mur de l'inspiration. In addition, we have a very special presentation to very special guests to give out as well. And I'll get to that shortly. Okay, Stéphane?
All right, Suzanne. But first, I would like to take a moment to note that although we are gathered virtually today, United Way East Ontario's offices, located in the Ottawa region, and are seated on the unceded and unsurrendered territory of the Anishinaabe Algonquin Nation, whose presence here reaches back to time immemorial. Each and every day, we are grateful to live, work, and play on this land. We're so excited for this event. In fact, while this is a larger virtual event, throughout the pandemic, United Way has hosted some amazing virtual Community Builder Award presentations to celebrate the many people and organizations working tirelessly day in and day out to strengthen our community. 22 community builders were recognized since November 2020, and it's been so special to witness.
For those of you who might not know what United Way's Community Builder program is all about, please allow me to explain. Throughout the years, members of the public are invited to nominate outstanding community leaders as part of the program. The fun part is nominees rarely know that they've been recognized. And Stéphane and I, and the rest of the Volunteer Recognition Committee members, go to great lengths to surprise them, ideally in front of a cheering audience. During the pandemic, we made every effort to make these a surprise, even if they were all on Zoom calls. Our recognition team is made out of exceptional United Way ambassadors, including Derek Page, Dylan Black, Lawrence Wall, Sarah Onyango, Louisa Taylor, Davy Sabourin, and Derek Delouche.
We should also point out that we have been fortunate to have the late Rabbi Reuben Bolka as part of this team as well. Today's event is dedicated in his memory. As many of you know, Rabbi was a longtime supporter of United Way. Rabbi Reuben Bolka inspired many people across our community to volunteer, to practice gratitude and kindness, of course, which is what he was known for, and to care for one another. Thank you, Rabbi, for making our community a better place.
Je fais partie de l'équipe de reconnaissance des bénévoles depuis sa création. À l'époque, j'ai surpris et occasionnellement même gêné des centaines de lauréats de prix de bâtisseurs communautaires. You know, it really has been a privilege to be part of the Community Builder program in this way. Can you imagine how lucky I am, we are, to have the opportunity to meet so many diverse, interesting, and passionate people in our community, and to be able to thank them on behalf of United Way for their efforts to really make a difference.
Absolutely, Suzanne. There's no better feeling like that, and you and I know it so well, as well as so many people on this call. I can only say the feeling of surprising someone, and yes, sometimes embarrassing them as well, with the Community Builder Award is one that never gets old. It's been particularly humbling during the pandemic. Kudos to the nominators and United Way staff for managing to keep the surprise element of these presentations in place, even in a virtual meeting. You'd be surprised how many tears of joy were shed. During this difficult time, we've seen some of the most inspiring change makers, but also heard of the incredible spirit of generosity and caring that exists to help those that are most in need during times of crisis and beyond. It's been such an honor to ambush some of these virtual events and meetings.
And wow, Stéphane, you're so right. And it's been so heartwarming, really special.
Yeah.
Now, at this point, I'd like to welcome all of our guests today, mayors, MPPs, leaders of public health, and all of our honored guests. We have a very exciting event in store for everyone today. So just before we kick things off, I'd like to remind all of you to use the hashtag local love and tag United Way East Ontario on social media at United Way EO. Si vous publiez des messages à propos de l'événement d'aujourd'hui, et oui, je vous encourage à le faire, utilisez le mot-clic hashtag ici avec cœur, @centraide.eo. Maintenant, nous avons beaucoup de choses excitantes ce matin. Alors, allons-y.
Now, today's pretty special, of course. Not only are we going to unveil the names of the recipients we awarded over the course of 2020 and 2021, but we are going to honor a group of special guests with United Way's most prestigious award, the Community Builder of the Year Award. And as usual, we have an exciting surprise in store. So without further ado, let's invite our first guest and presenter, Dr. Teresa Tam, Chief Public Health Officer of Canada. Over to you.
Thank you for that introduction, and hello everyone. Bonjour à toutes et à tous. I would like to acknowledge that I am speaking to you from the traditional and ceded territory of the Algonquin Anishinaabe people. Indigenous peoples living across Canada have shown tremendous leadership, resilience, and community collaboration in responding to COVID-19. Nous avons la responsabilité collective dont nous renforcer d'établir des partenariats respectueux avec le peuple autochtone dans notre quête de guérison et de véritable réconciliation. We commemorated the National Day of Truth and Reconciliation on September the 30th. It was an important day to reflect, honor, and remember, to ensure the tragic history and ongoing legacy of residential schools is never forgotten. Today, we have come together to celebrate community. While I regret that I am unable to join all of you at today's live event, I am so grateful to United Way East Ontario for inviting me to bestow their highest honor, the Community Builder of the Year Award, to 4 extraordinary health professionals and their incredible teams. Since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, Dr. Vera Etches, Dr. Paul Remiliotis, Dr. Paula Stewart, and Dr. Robert Cushman, along with their teams at Ottawa Public Health, the Eastern Ontario Health Unit, the Lees, Granville, and Lanark District Health Unit, and the Renfrew County and District Health Unit have exemplified community leadership in action. Supported by their strong and dedicated staff, these 4 medical officers of health demonstrated outstanding leadership, expertise, and tenacity to keep people in our communities healthy and safe during one of the most challenging times in our history in public health. They have played a pivotal role in the public health responses at both the community and national levels by delivering credible, timely, and relevant public health advice to their communities during a highly complex, evolving, and unpredictable period. They have also publicly advocated for changes to address the ongoing challenges that result in some individuals and groups being disproportionately burdened more than others. In many ways, the pandemic has been a wake-up call for Canadians. The past 18 or so months has forced us to appreciate more profoundly than ever the complex interaction of the social determinants of health in shaping health outcomes and driving health inequities. La pandémie n'a pas créé les inégalités, mais a plutôt amplifié les défis chroniques auxquels les gens étaient déjà confrontés, comme la pauvreté, l'isolement social, et la santé mentale. Even before the onset of the pandemic, Dr. Cushman, Etches, Remiliotis, and Stewart recognized the impacts of the social determinants of health on the population's health. These health experts and their teams have shaped the response to COVID-19 around people who were the most impacted in our communities, including through designing and delivering culturally appropriate programs and medical interventions. En juin 2020, la Dr. Etches a déclaré que le racisme un grave problème de santé publique. Le Dr. Romiliotis a fait de même. Dr. Etches also shared with Ottawa City Council that neighborhoods with higher numbers of low-income, racialized, and newcomer residents have nearly twice the COVID-19 infection rates as more affluent neighborhoods, and join United Way's COVID-19 community response table to discuss how gender, race, sexuality, geography, and socioeconomic status or influence how residents experience the effects of the pandemic. During the pandemic, Dr. Stewart, who has worked on social isolation among seniors and emphasized the urgency of these issues in Lanark County's rural context at the Lanark County Successful Aging Advisory Committee, became a regular guest on Lanark radio station Lake 88.1, providing a weekly pandemic update to residents who are less likely to use social media. Dr. Stewart is also a strong supporter of Planet Youth Lanark, a project that addresses youth substance use and mental health challenges, offering a community-based prevention model to improve health and social outcomes for youth. Dr. Romiliotis, a fellow pediatrician and passionate champion and advocate for early childhood development, continued to help share accurate information and guidelines to parents and children over the past year and a half. Early on in the pandemic, he was involved with coordinating the local response and was a trusted source of information for the community during the quarantine of the cruise passengers at the NAF Center in Cornwall. Dr. Cushman also found avenues to reach his audience and took to the Renfrew County and District Health Unit's YouTube channel to offer pandemic updates, and most recently, encouraging millennials and other young people to get vaccinated as soon as possible. Equally, he has called attention to the pandemic's significant impacts to schooling and community mental health and the need to rebuild services with this top of mind. This year's esteemed award recipients have all played a central and influential role as leaders in our communities and in public health. They all demonstrated an unwavering dedication to addressing the inequities and injustices that are prevalent in our society, and work tirelessly to guide and adapt their approaches according to the unique priorities, strengths, and challenges of our communities. For their ongoing commitment to social justice, the United Way wishes to recognize Drs. Robert Cushman, Vera Etches, Paul Romiliotis, and Paula Stewart, and their respective teams with the Community Builder of the Year Award. We are so grateful for their ongoing efforts. Nous leur sommes très reconnaissants de leurs efforts soutenus. And to everyone joining today, I also wish to applaud you for your commitment to making a positive impact on our communities. May the leadership of these four incredible individuals and their teams' commitment to partnership and collaboration continue to inspire you as you undertake your work. I'm certainly inspired by them, and I have to say I follow everything that Dr. Etches tells me to in Ottawa. Now, please take a look at this video.
Health is the ability to realize aspirations, satisfy needs, and cope with a changing environment. Never was that more true than in the pandemic. When I was thinking about this, I thought about my daughter who has an intellectual and a physical disability. And she lives very well because of all the support she has around her and everything that the community does with her. All the things that you have to have. The pandemic laid out really in an open way that some people didn't have those things. And then collectively, our responsibility is to try to meet them. Lanark County had a great job. They had a whole table of community people who were looking at what they, including the United Way, to see what are the resources. We live in a rural area. Transportation is a big issue. And Lanark County worked with others and have had a transportation program. So I think it's a continuous thing of thinking out, what do we need to do so people don't get left behind?
The history of our public health field is one of social justice, and it's recognizing that your health status being different based on who you are is it's not fair. And so we want to work on the societal policies that will enable us to have fair chances for everyone. For example, our Board of Health advocated for sick leave benefits so people could stay home when they're sick and not have to choose between having enough food on the table or possibly exposing others in the workplace. We're going to need to continue policy work to inform what happens with housing and social services and early childhood. You know, these are foundational. Ottawa Public Health has really made an effort to understand where are the needs greatest. And that has involved working with communities and community leaders and partners to better inform our work.
I mean, this is, let's face it, it was a crisis, and we were going week by week, day by day, even sometimes hour by hour. So what that did was it fostered collaboration. We tried to make sure that we were learning quickly from other people's experiences, and also that we had some uniformity, because when you have asymmetry, when Ottawa's doing one thing and Renfrew's doing another thing, people pick up on that very quickly and they'll call you out on it. So that was very important. We were able to mobilize the family physicians quickly with the VTAC, that's the Virtual Triage Assessment Center. And with that, we were able to arrange for the paramedics to do the testing. Getting back to that near normal, it's the biggest challenge is going to be for folks who have these social inequalities. So getting the kids back to school, increasing the employment level, providing the safety net, catching up on immunizations. There's all kinds of work that needs to be done.
I think that one of the most important things that we need to realize is the effects, the mental health effects on all our population, particularly among our most vulnerable and particularly among the children of those most vulnerable. And as a pediatrician, this has been my goal in order to address those issues that occur in the first couple of years of life. Early child development really determines your whole life spectrum. The best way to move forward at this stage of the pandemic is to do what we've always been doing, is get together with the community partners, understand the community needs, identify the issues among the vulnerable populations, and coalesce together to be able to address them. One of the things that I'm heartened about and very pleased to see is the resiliency and the commitment to the community of all of our staff. This has brought out what I always thought. I knew that our staff at the Eastern Ontario Health Unit were committed, professional, dedicated to the community, but this has really put a spotlight on that.
I think we can continue to be inspired by that care that people have for each other and, you know, continue to move forward and think about the other things we can do.
Some great people have shown themselves, and this comes out with the collaboration we've seen. It comes out with the acts of courage.
We talk about the virus all the time, but the pandemic is about people. And I think that's what keeps me going, is the people.
Please join me in congratulating this year's Community Builder of the Year joint recipients, Drs. Cushman, Etches, Rumiliotis, and Stewart, and all of their entire public health teams.
Thank you, Dr. Tam, for your message and presentation to our region's public health leaders and their respective teams. As many of you are aware, I've been a longtime supporter of the Community Builder program. Over the years, I've had the esteemed honor of presenting the Community Builder of the Year award to some very deserving recipients. Those individuals or groups are never looking for recognition, but as a community under the leadership of United Way, we take a moment to pause, celebrate, and say thank you to those who are making our region a better place for everyone. In this challenging time, we have looked for hopeful stories and positive moments to keep us motivated. I want to thank our public health leaders and their teams for their continued work in the pursuit of social justice in public health. No one can tackle these issues alone. It takes communities working together. I appreciate their ongoing work to look beyond social inequity and examine their systemic roots, whether it's COVID-19, substance abuse, misuse, homelessness, poverty, racism, and more. I appreciate you digging deeper to help your communities and provide services that take into consideration the unique challenges many are facing across the region. The City of Ottawa, United Way East Ontario, and all the regional municipalities, including my fellow mayors, wardens, and councillors, are all here today to celebrate your work. On behalf of all of us, congratulations. Please share a congratulatory message to those award recipients in the chat. And remember, the Community Builder Award program is open to anyone in Ottawa, Prescott Russell, Lanark County, and Renfrew County. Nominations are accepted year-round via United Way's website. Thank you very much. Encore merci beaucoup. Au revoir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Dr. Tam. This is a special event. I'm already getting the warm fuzzies, and we haven't even heard from our recipients yet. But let's just take a moment, maybe 10 seconds or so, unmute our microphones and give everyone a round of applause. Thank you for all that. Oh my goodness, I had unmuted myself. Now I'm muted, I'm back. I apologize for that, but thank you so much for taking the time to give them a round of applause. And at this time, I want to invite Dr. Cushman, Etches, Rumeliotis, and Stewart to say a few words and accept their awards on behalf of their communities. Over to you.
Thank you. I'm honored to accept this reward on behalf of the Renfrew County and District Health Unit. We have a remarkable team, and we've done great work in the past 18 months, and we have always been committed to social inequities in our area. And this award for this work, there are many other team members that have contributed to this. The entire healthcare sector has come together like never before during the pandemic to see us through. On top of that, we've had the allied social services that have also come to work with us and have provided the necessary service to those most in need during this time period. And finally, I want to thank the public, because without the public, without their determination and their motivation, we couldn't have kept the pandemic at bay to the extent we have in Renfrew County. So I want to thank one and all, and I, in fact, are just the person you're handing this award to, and it really is a token of the great work of so many others.
And I'll jump in to say thank you so much for recognizing the hard work of the Ottawa Public Health staff. They are so dedicated to protecting and promoting health, and to doing that with attention to where the needs are greatest and where people are facing barriers. L'équipe de santé publique est vraiment dévouée, et je voudrais dire merci, miigwech. When you recognize and encourage us like this, it helps us know we're on the right track when we're working with community leaders, when we're working with partners. And that's our commitment. You know, we're going to continue. I want to thank everyone who's really come together and showed that we're a caring community, and we can address what needs to be done when we work together. So thanks to all, and merci encore pour l'équipe de santé publique vraiment dévouée.
I think I'm next. Thank you very much for this esteemed honor. Merci beaucoup pour cet honneur. It is not mine. It is my health units. It's the hundreds of devoted and professional staff that care for our community that deserve this. C'est les membres de nos personnels qui sont dévoués, professionnels, et ils font n'importe quoi pour le bien-être de notre communauté ensemble. As Dr. Tam said earlier, COVID only exacerbated issues in our community, particularly in my area, Prescott Russell, and the area of the Eastern Ontario Health Unit. In normal times, you know, we were challenged to begin with, but with COVID, it amplified those challenges, and we couldn't do it alone. It really is working with partners and agencies across the board, and it's an honor. I'm surrounded by my colleagues, by all the multitudes of people that have worked with us with a common goal of really loving our community and working together to really emit a change, particularly during these trying times and as we get out of the pandemic. Very important. And so my last and final word I want to say is, let's think of the kids as well. As you know, I'm a very strong advocate for our youth and early child development. They have suffered a lot. And disproportionately so in some areas that are vulnerable. And so let's not forget those children and the mental health effects. And again, thank you very much for this honor that you bestowed to us. And again, not only to me, it's really to all the staff and personnel at the Eastern Ontario Health Unit. Merci beaucoup.
So I am thrilled to be here today and to be part of this award. Our strategic plan says that one of our key goals is that individuals have opportunity for a healthy life, realizing their own potential in a community that effectively responds to the determinants of health. And I've never seen a more perfect example of this than in the Lanark and Leeds Granville COVID response. And our staff, I don't even have words for their commitment, their responsibility, and always putting people first. There may be a guideline, but they always think of the person and what they're going through. And it's just, it's so affirming to be able to work in a health unit where people have that as their inside themselves, like that's what they can do. And this award also goes to our partners. We could not have done everything we did without our partners, our municipalities, our healthcare workers, our school boards, our social services, community organizations. And that's what the United Way is all about. It's united. That's the very first word in United Way. And I think that has been at the heart of everything that we have done. I'm hopeful because we as a community came together so well around something that was thrust upon us, and with flexibility and determination and commitment, have made our way through it. And we still have more to go. And that resilience, that zeal is what keeps us all together. And so this United Way award is just epitomizes all of that. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you again. What a great feeling to be here amongst so many community builders and very deserving people. Now, as you've been told, Stefan and Suzanne have a surprise in for us today at this event. And my fellow colleagues, I've been asked to help with this surprise. So here we go. Now, why is everyone here? It's clear. We're so committed to the communities we love, and further to that, so committed to solving complex problems, to making a contribution to our community.
As we had said earlier, and we all know that COVID has really exacerbated, what we see in our communities. And in normal times, again, they're not easy to be able to solve with any certainty. And obviously, it's not one person, it's not one organization, it's a multitude. I call it in our health unit area, I call it our family of communities, our family of agencies that work together. And that's why it's important for us to honor and surround, and by the people that are around us, with hundreds of people that we need to be honoring, in addition to our staff as well, from our health units. And again, it's a community endeavor. It's a love, and it's basically people who've invested in the well-being of our region, united by our shared love for the community. And this is really a very, very underlying foundational of importance to me. We've got the power to really foster a measurable change of the lives of the local people in need. And that really is the bottom line. And when we talk about community, we talk about everybody in the community, and particularly the more vulnerable ones. Equity is not equality. So some people need a bit more than others to be able to survive and to thrive. And our goal is for everybody to thrive. Paula, it's up to you.
The pandemic began affecting our region. We heard concerns, both from our partners and from our staff, about the challenges that many people would face. For example, loss of social contact, loss of work, unstable housing, loss of in-person services, as well as the challenges associated with isolation with the COVID-19 infection or the need to isolate as a high-risk contact. The United Way reached out to their network, including community partners, government officials, businesses, and so many others to address these concerns. This spawned the creation of what is now known as the COVID-19 Community Response Table. Today, United Way wants to recognize you, the many members of this table, with surprise Community Builder Awards.
And it is through the work of the community table that you've looked at how to support people best in the greatest time of need. We've learned from the table, we've taken your advice, we've tried to listen, and from working together, you have distributed basic necessities like food, masks. You've helped isolated seniors facing mental health challenges to get support. You've helped children stay on track in school by giving them technology that they needed to depend on. So many. And it's made a measurable difference for individuals and families across our region. So it is on behalf of the United Way, Eastern Ontario, that our 4 public health units, the community at large, it's our pleasure to recognize there was 100 people and organizations who've taken part as members of the COVID-19 Community Response Table. Thank you for your innovation, your creativity, the way you were nimble and continue to make a difference. Thank you, merci, miigwech. And so the United Way will, in the coming weeks, distribute the Community Builder Award plaques to each of you, and your names will be added to this year's Wall of Inspiration. And it's going to be a permanent reminder of your contributions. So to all of you present, please show our newest award recipients some love in the chat, recognize the COVID-19 response table, and we'll share these messages with the recipients after the event. And so now I think we're staying muted, but there'll be another round of applause for these recipients in a moment.
Thank you indeed, and congratulations to you all. It was so wonderful to see the names of all of those organizations pop up on the screen, and we will definitely be doing another round of applause later. Thank you as well to Dr. Tam, Mayor Jim Watson, once again, our CBYA recipients, and of course, our Community Response Table, CBA recipients. We couldn't get through this without you. Truly is United Way. We were all in this together. We are so grateful for you and all of the work that you do in the various aspects. Today, we are fortunate to also have the group of outstanding community leaders that we recognized over the course of 2020 and 2021. During the pandemic, we joined Zoom calls where amazingly, we surprised most of these wonderful people in front of friends and family in the face of an uncertain time where the pandemic had us all in intermittent lockdowns, and we were all unable to gather in person for a brief moment on those calls. We truly were together. In these calls, we heard stories of hope and support, inspiring ones at that.
For many of these recipients, they spoke about how they didn't do this to be recognized, that they did it to help their community. Well, when you do these wonderful things to support others, we can't help but take note. Today, everyone we have recognized in 2020, 2021 will join the more than 850 outstanding community leaders United Way has recognized through the years. Their names are now permanently etched onto one of the 4 walls of inspiration we have in Ottawa, Prescott-Russell, Lanark County, and Renfrew County. Aujourd'hui, nous ajoutons le nom des personnes célébrées en 2021 à une liste grandissante de plus de 850 bâtisseurs communautaires auxquels Centraide de l'Est de l'Ontario a rendu hommage au fil des ans. Leur nom est gravé à tout jamais sur l'un des 4 murs de l'inspiration des communautés de Prescott et Russell, d'Ottawa, ainsi que des comtés de Lanark et Renfrew. You know, to us, the Wall of Inspiration is a fitting tribute to the collective power of community, and one that perfectly captures the incredible act of selflessness, care, and compassion these community builders fulfill daily. It's really a physical reminder that each one of us has the power to make change happen, no matter how small that change might seem. And it also speaks to the goals we as a region share, the important role we play in shaping a very strong, vibrant, and welcoming region for all. Now, take a look at our screen now for a special video about our community builders.
COVID-19 has affected how we interact with our family and friends, how we work together, operate businesses, and provide services, and how we live out our daily lives. The pandemic has also strained the social fabric of our communities and amplified every single social challenge people across Prescott Russell, Ottawa, Lanark, and Renfrew counties were already facing. But the challenges of the pandemic have also inspired resilience and an uprising of people working together during our region's greatest time of need. Despite being physically apart, people across all walks of life, from different neighborhoods, towns, villages, and counties, have shown nimbleness, innovation, and commitment to addressing the challenges created and made worse by COVID-19. These community builders work tirelessly and collaboratively to make our communities better for everyone. Their efforts improve the lives of people around them, and they create stronger, healthier places to live, work, and play. United Way East Ontario's Community Builder program celebrates and recognizes these individuals. From delivering basic needs to isolated seniors, creating safe spaces for youth to learn and grow, advocating for underrepresented groups, to checking in on the mental health of neighbors, helping newcomers feel welcome, and much more. Volunteers continue to give their time to support people who are most in need. These acts of local love inspire us every day. While we are unable to physically gather together, we know it is still so important to celebrate these everyday heroes who step up, often without recognition. Many of them were already doing this before the pandemic started. Here are the names of those we are celebrating this year. Apartment 613, Reynald Allors, Ali Arbo, Charity Bartlett, Isabel Boyd, Allison Brown, Kara Eusebio, Sergiana Freitas, Mary Gasella, Kim Heislop, Rose LeBlanc, Claire Marshall, Osmel B. Veramains, Blanche Miro, Monty Molepo, Avery Parkinson, Rowan Parkinson, Pearlie Pompano, Davy Saboran, Jenna Spagnoli, Kayla Spagnoli, Mashuda Syed. I'd also like to recognize our newest group of Community Builder Award recipients, the incredible folks who took part in United Way's COVID-19 community response table. Individuals and organizations who banded together and stepped up to identify challenges and create solutions for those hardest hit by the pandemic across Prescott Russell, Ottawa, Lanark County, and Renfrew County. A special congratulations also goes to this year's Community Builder of the Year Award recipients, jointly awarded to Dr. Paul Remiliotis and the team at the Eastern Ontario Health Unit, Dr. Vera Etches and the team at Ottawa Public Health, Dr. Robert Cushman and the team at the Renfrew County and District Health Unit, and Dr. Paula Stewart and the team at the Leeds Grenville and Lanark District Health Unit. Thank you for your work, and in particular for highlighting and addressing the social inequities that our communities faced during these challenging times. So congratulations, félicitations, and thank you, merci, to the community builders who made a difference in 2020 and 2021. Your contributions have left an indelible mark on our communities. No matter the challenge before us, youth homelessness, isolated seniors, social inequity, natural disasters, or a global pandemic, United Way East Ontario strives to build safer, stronger communities for everyone. And tackling these tough challenges would not be possible without the contributions of community builders. Thank you all.
Wow, just amazing. Again, congratulations to everyone. It's so wonderful to see the strength of our community in action and really acknowledge what we've accomplished over this past year and a bit. Again, congratulations to all of our community builders. I always look forward to September with United Way for This Is Community event, where we have the pleasure of witnessing so much local love in action. We will unmute you all now for a round of applause. Please put your hands together and show all of our recipients some love. Maybe you can hoot and holler as well. I don't know. Let's go, bro.
Congrats, everybody.
Congratulations.
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 Félicitations.
Congrats.
Congratulations.
Great stuff.
All right, I'm going to pass the mic over now to Michael Allen, President and CEO of United Way, for some closing thoughts. Michael.
Thank you, Stéphane. Merci, Suzanne and Miigwech. Our hosts, once again, have worked their magic in a virtual context. Stéphane, as you said, to create those warm and fuzzies that that we get so often in person, but is sometimes difficult to replicate here. I can tell you that I'm humbled by what you have done for us today. Thank you. It's been a special day. I had the pleasure of, on behalf of the Executive Committee of United Way, to call our recipients each to talk about this award a few months ago. And each one of them reacted exactly as you might expect, but also identically. They were humbled, they were honored, and they recognized the contribution of others as they have done today. But having said that, and I include Dr. Tam in this and thank her for being with us today, is that I don't want to underestimate and underscore the leadership that it has taken for their health units and themselves to put them in this social justice space. We don't have to look too far where there are other places where these social justice issues were divisive. And so for them to have taken the leadership and rallied their communities and joined forces with those around our community response table has been truly an honor. And I want to thank them for that leadership. I'm also grateful for all of you who have attended today. But let me acknowledge a few people in particular, because they were particularly consistent, particularly constructive, and equally committed to the work of the table. It's not uncommon for those of us in our roles, and I suspect from time to time in the media, Stefan and Suzanne, when you engage politicians, and they are often performing their duties in a theater or in media that is expected of them, but nevertheless sometimes leave us wanting. That was not the case at the community response table. We had political leaders at the federal, municipal, and provincial levels that were consistent, committed, and constructive, as I said. And I want to pay tribute to Marie-France Lalonde, the Member of Parliament for Ottawa-Orleans. She's not with us here today, but she was with us consistently throughout over 20 meetings of the community response table. Jeremy Roberts, our member of the Provincial Parliament for Ottawa West Nepean and Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Children, Community and Social Services, for his consistent report and his consistent participation and support. And he would often bring to the table someone who is relevant to our conversation, some of his ministerial colleagues, to talk about the issues that we were discussing. And Laura Dudas, who I saw a moment ago, recognizing the work of our table. She is the deputy mayor and the councillor for Innes Ward. And Laura, likewise, you have been a champion for us and consistent in your participation. And as well, I saw as well Warden Krista Lowry from Lanark County. Thank you, Krista, for the participation that you offered and for the leadership you continue to show. As Dr. Tam touched on earlier, we recognize that COVID did not create the inequities that we are talking about today. It exacerbated these chronic challenges. They existed in our communities, but the COVID pandemic brought them calling for urgent attention in the pandemic's crisis response. Isolated seniors, kids without access to technology, women experiencing violence at home. These were all issues that were made worse and were elevated to crisis status by the pandemic. But I am so proud and humbled that our communities were able to find creative, collaborative, and innovative solutions. As we banded together to determine the emerging social needs in our community and adapted as they evolved, everyone here and more played a part in this collective local response. Our region would not be where it is at without your experience, expertise, innovation, and perseverance. So as the challenges of the pandemic continue to call upon us, it is important we take a moment to acknowledge our individual and collective efforts. Everyone has been fighting for social justice during a time of unprecedented stress, anxiety, and a host of personal hurdles that make you feel like your best may not have been good enough. I hope you will take this time today to reflect on this moment we are taking to celebrate our accomplishment and the incredible value that we have all provided to people in our communities. You have made a tremendous difference, and people in need across Ottawa, Prescott Russell, Lanark, Renfrew counties are fortunate to have you fighting for them. Thank you. As we look forward to the days ahead, United Way is proud to have a strong group of allies from elected officials, public health authorities, social service providers, individual volunteers, sponsors, corporate partners, and so many others who appreciated the importance of not allowing the social fallout that occurred during the pandemic to be repeated. For us, the coming months will be all about maintaining and growing this allyship, maintaining the incredible level of collaboration, ensuring the resilience we've built results in our communities being better off than they were before. To use the lessons of the pandemic to address issues like poverty, homelessness, racism, and others. In short, to build back better. I'm energized about the opportunity that the future holds, and I'm confident that with you all, we can and will get through anything. Congratulations again to all of our CBA recipients, and thank you all for coming today. Suzanne, Stéphane, back to you.
Quelle matinée des plus spéciales, vraiment je dirais formidable. Before you go, remember, this is community. You are community. Thank you for showing your local love and giving back to your community. Merci d'avoir été ici avec nous pour célébrer notre ville et le tout nouveau Centraide de l'Est de l'Ontario, organisme œuvrant dans les communautés de Prescott Russell, d'Ottawa et des comtés de Lanark et de Renfrew. Merci, thank you.
And we would like to acknowledge and thank CTV and Department 613 for sponsoring the Community Builder Award Program. Thank you all for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your day. Merci beaucoup à tous. Thanks again.